Welcome back to Absolutely Marvelland DC. My name is Benny, that is Sal, and that is Dylan. And today we're going to be talking about a classic, Batman and Robin. So,
both of them.
I'll go first. I'm just gonna go real first. Rewatching it, I found a lot of things I liked in this movie. I actually kind of enjoyed it for what it was. It's nowhere near the best Batman.
No, it's had many names. Franchise killer, the worst Batman movie ever made.
That's what I mean.
And on the rewatch, context is everything, right? And I think that, for fans of Batman in the 80s, they get Burton's Batman. I can imagine a lot of people being annoyed at it being so different and yet also spiritually kind of similar to kind of like the bigger, more bombastic Bat books that were coming out at the time, and then Batman Returns being so bizarre, and then it just getting more and more of like a children's Happy Meal toy commercial. I can imagine it being really frustrating, and I remember being a kid being like, this ain't like the comics, especially Batman Forever. Batman and Robin, I didn't even bother. As a kid, I was like, I'm good. I saw Batman, and I saw Batman Forever, I saw the suit for Mr. Freeze, I'm good. And I was proven right to not see it.
I do feel, before we go into that was my initial thoughts. That's yours. What are your initial thoughts, Dylan, of the follow-up to what you called Batman porn?
Yeah. You've never seen it.
No, I've not. I haven't seen this movie, and it is still porn, and it is more of a toy commercial. However, I kind of really love this movie.
See? I feel like if you know what you're getting into, okay? So I looked at when this came out, 97.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is Sal, what you said, context is very important. My theory is if this movie came out with almost no changes and they animated it, and it came out today, people would absolutely adore it.
I think if they released it today anyway, people would endure it because the fact is, back in the day, superhero movies were very rare, and it was like, do you know what a miracle it is we're even getting a Batman for? And it's so stupid. And afterwards, Warner Brothers basically going, we're never doing this again, Batman's dead. And people wanting Batman movies going like, I hate this movie, because not only is it stupid in a toy commercial, but it also buried the franchise. I'll never get another Batman movie. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you'll get not one, not two, but three other Batmans in that span. Now I'm like, I mean, who cares, right? Like now it's like you can just wallow in its stupidity. You can be like, you can enjoy the fact that like they click their heels together and get ice skates, and
I actually want to bring that up. So one thing that I noticed watching this now with better context and a better understanding of the Batman mythos and franchise, from how it went from 60s to 80s to 90s and how it's gone through all these years. Yeah. This felt like an homage to me to the 60s. Yeah. Because I'm watching it, and if you notice, especially during the first major fight, when they do the ice skating, and then when they do the second fight where Freeze interrupts Ivy, they time the musical cues with the hits.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's very much like, bam, but like timed with the swells in the music, so it doesn't feel as weird as the 60s, but if you notice it,
oh yeah,
this is cool. Like
that's interesting. That's a really interesting observation, because the only thing that they're missing is onomatopoeias, which I guess if this was directed by Edgar Wright, that would have happened. But
and
even
that would have been great.
Yeah.
But we have that now in movie trailers where like the music will have punches timed to the music cues or the beats, and it's like, wow, yeah, this movie has a lot. I'll tell you this: George Clooney, much maligned for being Batman. I don't mind him.
Yeah, he's better than Val Kilmer.
I will say
a little bit.
I do have a caveat with that. I did not like him as Batman.
I thought
he was the perfect Bruce Wayne. He didn't have the problem I had with him becoming Batman wasn't that he was silly. It's that he was still just George Clooney doing Bruce Wayne. He didn't
but I mean,
change it.
If he saw the dailies for the sequence where Mr. Freeze is making his henchmen sing, he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to really swing for the fences on this one. This I don't have to try very hard. I mean, he is basically saying, come on, do it. But like, I don't know. I feel like George Clooney's just like, hey, all right, I'm ER's George Clooney. What's up? Who cares? This isn't going to tank my career. him and the Batman cowl. I mean, like diminishing returns, right? Because by the time you get to the end, he gets that silver accented thing. No one looks good
For no reason, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a reason. There's a toy for that.
Toys.
Yeah, well, I was like,
Yeah.
when they swapped into it, I was like, did I miss a scene where they said this is like anti-cold gear or something?
No.
They did it in Batman Forever. Like,
Yeah, they said what it was in Forever.
they
at least.
explained
Right.
why they're doing it. At least in the
This
in the
movie,
fourth
nope.
one, Joel Schumacher was like, "Oh, it's stupid." Got it.
Got it.
It's like he understood the assignment that time. He
Yeah.
got it.
100%.
What did you think about George Clooney's Batman, Dylan?
Like I said, I think he's better than Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer just sort of like, I feel like Val Kilmer just got the job done. Like, didn't really add anything.
It
in
did
any
feel
direction.
phoned in, but that was also Val Kilmer's performance in
Yeah.
a lot of things.
I like
He-
the Batman. And
He was early era celebrity where it was like, I will just be Val Kilmer and everything, which is like stoic
No, he'd
and
already
monotone.
been. He did Top Gun. He did Tombstone by then. Like he had already been Val effing Kilmer.
No, but I agree.
Willow.
But I agree, and he did a great job, and he brought that exact same performance. Is what I'm saying.
No, but you're
into
right.
this.
He is just being Hollywood star. Well, because you know what they're saying to him. Like, well, he's acting. They're like, no. Don't like act.
We want Val.
Like we don't want to look. We don't want to make Chris O'Donnell look that laughable. Could you like just match his level, please? Because he, yeah. And in a little while, let's talk about the controversy. But get into it, please.
I don't even know about that, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
So that was Batman. Let's talk about Mr. Freeze then, because we already kind of touched on him as well.
Mr. Freeze. You
The
know,
puns are
off the
like,
charts.
the fun. Okay,
I have zero problem with him.
I was gonna say thinking back, I'm like, oh my god, the puns were so bad. Going back into this, the puns were kind of funny. Like I really liked him. The most unbelievable and most only thing I really hated about it is when they tried to be like, no, Victor Freeze also is a scientist, and then we see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the lab coat, and I'm
Yeah.
just picturing twins from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, he's also
just-
a genius scientist.
I feel like this
Yeah.
movie is like it's peaking now because like the form of comedy that it has, like back in the 90s, I feel like maybe puns were more like groan worthy, and this
Yeah.
was especially, again, like context, this is after a few Batman movies that people really enjoyed for very different reasons.
Very.
Um,
Yeah.
But now we're in an age where like camp and stupidity that's intentional is really funny, and like we've kind of come around on it.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie was to me. Is there's so much of it, especially in the first half, that it's just like it's so perfectly campy in a way that
Yeah.
I wish all of the CW superhero shows were still.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Like, you know it's going to be camp. Like, I remember when I finally did see it, I was well into adulthood. And John Glover being in the movie, I was like, okay, John Glover.
Yeah.
Because John Glover he is a treasure. Like, we need to protect him at all costs. He's incredible. He's the perfect Riddler in the animated series. But in that sequence where he's like, where he creates poison ivy.
Bane. Oh yeah, poison. Ivy.
Unbelievable.
And Bane.
Yeah.
Where he's just
And
like, he advances on her. He's like, well, you'll have to understand. I respect your opinion, but I'm not very good at rejection, so you'll have to die. And then he just like screeches, and the whole every set is just like it's like a theater. It looks like Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
set, like
Just
the police
drenched in
impound
light
sequence.
and objects.
Where they don't have room for sets, they just just throw a big green or purple light or blue light on it. Like just
love it.
bathe it in a big light.
Like when they were panning into it, it's like, are they in a Mayan tomb? Where
Right.
are they?
Yeah, they're in a
Somewhere
big
in South
expensive
America,
pet seat.
apparently.
Man, and what's amazing is, like they built all that stuff. Like that's expensive to make it look that dumb.
Yeah.
And now they would have been like, oh, we're making Scorpion King 2. Like just CG that. We just make it
it on
all
the
big
computer.
green screen and let the effects people figure it out. But yeah, no, it's 100% camp. Like they're going for the camp, and I think you're right, Benny. It is just an homage to '66. I think that's what Schumacher wanted to make in the first place.
Yeah,
like
and
you
I-
see it in 2.
There's hints of that
I
in
was-
Forever. Like
'cause I was
there's
actually
references to
watching
66 and Forever.
Exactly.
I was doing something else, and I finally just stopped. I was exhausted. I popped it on to watch it yesterday. Is when I was catching up. So when I pinged you guys, like, reminder, we're supposed to talk about Batman and Robin finally.
Right, because I'm not watching this by myself.
Exactly. I'm not going to watch this, and then we're going to delay this 2 weeks, and I'm not going to remember stuff.
Yeah.
And this when they got to that fight, and I was noticing, because I'm a very, like, the way my ADD works, music for me is a lot of things I'll fixate on.
Right.
So for me, when I'm trying to focus, I normally put music on in the background. So I caught the music real one. I saw the swells, and I'm like, he was trying to make 60s Batman modern. That's also explains George Clooney's casting.
Yeah, because he is doing. Yeah, I'd heard that like West was cast because he wasn't the best actor for the job, but he was the best actor. Like he wasn't the best actor in the room. He was the best actor to play that, like to be silly and take it seriously. I think Clooney's the same way, where he's like, "Oh, it's dumb, got it." Like you don't want me to disappear into Bruce Wayne. You want to see George Clooney on screen. Like we're not casting Arnold Schwarzenegger for his acting ability. We're casting him because we're putting Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie.
His acting was incredible as Mr.
Well, he's
Freeze.
doing the best he can because it's Arnold, and like I appreciate it. I'm a bit, I love a good Arnold movie, but like I'd heard they wanted, because I think the casting rumors had been Patrick Stewart forever. And then I'd heard they offered it to him, and he was like, "This is stupid. No." But he would have been terrible.
Sir.
Yeah, no. I don't know if he was a her sir by then, but maybe. But the point being, Arnold's like, "Oh yeah, no, I did Junior. Like, I'll do this."
I'm in.
Like Last Action Hero, I'm still reeling from the failure of that. I need $25 million.
I still love Last Action Hero.
I love that. It's amazing.
Anyway, before we move past Mr. Freeze, though, I want to comment on the two scenes that were very much falls in line with the why would you be a henchman? Was the sing scene, which was hilarious. I'm just like this, and if you combine it with Two-Face from last movie, it's just like when you become a villain in Gotham, you have to have a base themed around you.
You gotta pick a guy, and then you pick that theme. What's the most comfortable to wear? Who's
But
not
then
gonna
also,
kill you?
It reminds me of that. What comic was it? It was Hobgoblin. It was a Hobgoblin tie-in to something where
Axis, I think, right?
Yeah, to Axis, where like they reveal that there's this underground market in New York where you can buy old supervillain identities.
Yep.
And it's like that. There's something like that in Gotham.
Oh, definitely.
But I also loved like when he's watching the movie and the guy comes in and he freezes him. It's like, I hate when you talk during the movie. Like, what?
That was like his main guy too.
Yeah. That's his Bob.
That was hilarious. So, Poison Ivy's performance on this. Let's go through the performances, then we'll start picking up the little
Poor
scenes.
Uma Thurman,
Uma
man.
Thurman
She's so good.
eats the
And
scenery alive in this movie.
she knows what's up.
She does an incredible job as what they've given her. I also find it hilarious that she's really just there for the love triangle aspect. Because the only other
which
thing
is very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only other thing that really happens is she makes Bane.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's such a shame because as we know, Uma Thurman is great. She's also gorgeous. So you have the both. Poison Ivy, like, when is that is one of the sins of this movie, is like, when is the next time they're ever gonna make a Poison Ivy Batman movie? Come on. And she sucks. Like, she's doing great because she's playing Julie Newmar playing Catwoman. She's just, I'm doing it. But Poison Ivy is cool, and to some people a feminist icon. And in this, she's just, at the end of the movie, she's plucking flower petals, musing about whether Bane likes her or not, or Arnold likes her or not, and you're like, get out of here. That's
what I mean. Like, she doesn't actually do anything. The whole plot is freezes. Like, the whole movie is freeze.
No, and yet everybody remembers, like, Rubber Lips. Everybody remembers her thrall over everybody. That's where the Bat credit card comes in. It's because of her. And it's
for the record, the Bat credit card actually makes sense with George Clooney's Batman, and I actually rewatching this. Because the portrayal that George Clooney has is that in this universe, at this time, Batman and Robin pretty much are working with the city. They're going to the charity ball. They're more acknowledgeable. They're like, so watching all of this in succession.
Need to explain it.
No.
But then he's like, oh, well, he also has a Bat credit card.
It's just a joke. It's a sight gag, you know? Like
Cutaway gag, yeah.
Like when
know.
he says this is why Superman works alone, like they're not teasing a cinematic universe. They just own the character so they could say it. Like they drop Superman's name in Spider-Man for God's sake. They don't care. I
They
do
Superman's
like
name in Eternals.
yeah, exactly. But I do like there is a reference on that Bat credit card where it says Batman Forever. Because, like, you know, forever is like the expiration date. Like,
Oh.
But I'm like,
Awesome.
hey, they're referencing the movie that just passed. Also reference, both Two-Face and Riddler's costumes are in the police impound set.
They are.
Oh,
Which
I
is
didn't
like,
catch that.
I wish they'd put Catwoman's suit or Joker's suit. Like, I wish that it wasn't just the last movie. It's like, you could have done something
Well, that's the one
with
that Joel made.
All the Burton
Yes.
stuff got burned when Burton
No, but
left.
what's
He
her
was
name?
like,
Yeah, exactly. Chase Meridian references Catwoman by description in Forever. She says, "Do I need skin
That's
tight
true.
vinyl in her whip to get your attention?" And I'm like, "Oh,
So I want to move over to one thing I want to talk about Clooney, then I want to move over to Chris O'Donnell's portrayal because I think this is like the worst portrayal he did of Robin. But
yeah,
the girlfriend of Bruce in this one, I loved that she was there for all of 3 minutes discussing
Right.
marriage, and he's like Ivy, like
yeah."
like why was that woman even in the movie?
I have a theory about that, and I think it's gay panic. I think it's
Okay.
a reaction. I think it's like in every movie we need to
But
reinforce the
Batgirl's
fact.
in this movie.
Yeah, but Batman's not having sex with her. We need
Not
to
yet.
reinforce the
True.
idea that Batman is not gay. We gotta.
Okay.
This movie has a mad case of the not gays and everybody's gay in this movie.
Of course.
But
Not as bad
I
as the
could
last
see that.
one, though.
Like the
It's
whole
not as
purpose
bad as
is
the last one.
because they established that he's been dating her now for a year. So we got about a year since Robin showed up. So just so you guys know, they weren't having a gay relationship.
No.
he got
No,
a
of course
girlfriend immediately after.
Right away.
No, Chase Meridian found out who he was, established a big time relationship with them, left, and then he met somebody else.
Yeah.
And trust me, that's not indicative of Batman sexuality. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting that they just dropped it.
Yeah, because they didn't even go
Batman's
back
love
to it.
life
She
is-
didn't come back.
Batman's love life is so important for 3 movies, and then the last one, they're like, nah, who cares?
The next thing I want to really bring up is Robin, because Chris O'Donnell went from like, hey, I'm Robin, we're partners, to almost immediately they have this back and forth of a problem.
Yeah. Well, they want conflict. They want the inner conflict and the outer conflict. I don't know why. It's really frustrating, but I
Yeah,
get it. Like
all
it's,
the stuff when they're trying to make a movie in this movie,
right?
it falls
it's like,
apart.
what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
like
try
Alfred.
to put conflict between Batman, when you're trying to kill Alfred and have like emotional
sad.
tension, and
Yeah.
when you bring Batgirl in and she's awful, like all of that stuff, it's like don't just focus on like Poison Ivy and Bane being absolute cartoon characters.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't hold water. Like you can either make a cartoon or you can make a Batman movie. You can't do
Right.
both, and that's probably one of the reasons why this failed. Like if it had been the parody movie that they'd started with like Bill Murray as Batman. Like if it had been just like it's a joke, ladies and gentlemen, just have a good time.
Right.
But like, yeah, Alfred has a made-up McGregor syndrome, and he's dying, and it's like, yeah, because he's old and he won't be in the next one.
Right.
Like that's why we're establishing ahead of time, not that he's too old, that he has a weird disease, and like Bruce is really upset about that, even though he's like
Not
no,
at the
he's
same
like-
time.
It's like he's younger than. It's like he's younger than Michael Keaton was in Batman '89. Like he's aging backwards throughout these movies. But whatever, it's sad. I don't care. The Alicia Silverstone in the room, though. So she's the biggest actor in the world at the time, or at least she had been, and now wasn't by now.
Her
and-
acting is so all over the place.
I feel so bad for her because like she's dealing with a lot. As I understand it, she was suffering from anorexia or getting out of it at the time or something like that. She had an eating disorder. She'd gotten over it. She'd gotten to like a healthy weight, regardless of her acting, which is not good in this movie. Which horribly miscast. Like you cast her because you want Alicia Silverstone in the movie. You want to put
Right.
Alicia Silverstone. You want to.
I just never felt any-
Schwarzenegger, Clooney. Like
I never felt any power in her delivery.
No,
it was always
no.
it always felt like the Valley Girl being like, oh my God, a
Yeah.
Batgirl outfit.
Well, they told her to do that. Like, they were like, just be clueless, but also Batgirl. Like,
Yeah.
she's not even Barbara
Like
Gordon.
what?
Like they're not
No.
even doing it. Like they made up their own Batgirl. Like it blows. But she didn't deserve the BS she suffered from the press. I remember distinctly there was a headline that said, "Watch out, it's Butt Girl," because she had a big ass, according to the press junket. Like this woman was suffering. Like she's a young woman who's trying to be in Hollywood. She's constantly valued for her looks. And then she gets to a healthy weight, like a weight that like is not killing her, and the audience went like, the press really went like, "Boo, you're fat!" Like, oh, like, and for a stupid, bad, jokey cartoon movie, like,
Yeah.
just not fair, and it.
I don't
Totally
remember that at all,
sucks.
but I also was 12 when this came out, so I don't think I cared as much.
I
Like,
think I was 12 or whatever, but like I'm telling you, man, I remember it vividly, and I remember being like. Because I, of course, I had a crush on Alicia Silverstone, like we all did, but I was very aware of that situation. I just wanted to say, like, that blows, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
And if it were today, it would have. Everyone who wrote those articles would have been destroyed. Like,
oh yeah,
it would have been really weird.
I'm just glad that everyone gets a suit up sequence.
Oh,
where
yeah, they do.
We see butts and we see chests. And you know
And
what?
crotches.
That girl got one too. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Equal opportunity sexism
equality.
right here. Yeah, we got crotch shots in this one though, more so than last one. The last one there was one butt shot, and then Joel Schumacher
Yes.
heard the criticism and he said like ramp it
this
up.
movie starts with two.
I want asses splashed across the screen.
the biggest problem with Batgirl is what they did with the Barbara Gordon character, though, because she shows up. Oh, he's my uncle or grandfather.
Uncle Alfred.
Uncle Alfred, yeah. She's a super good girl. Oh, no, she's not. She races motorcycles. And then she cracks Alfred's code to discover that they're Batman and Robin. And we've established at no point that she should be a Batgirl at this point. Like, at least with Dick Grayson, they had the whole background. They showed him fighting. They showed him training.
I think she had gymnastics or something like that. Like there was one line about her being able to like flip. You know, it was something really.
What I'm
really
saying is,
well,
she cracks
she-
it, goes
she
into the
does,
Batcave,
like, a
and then
thing.
Alfred's like, I made you a suit.
Oh
What?
yeah, I made the whole suit. And
Well,
it
to be
sucks.
fair, almost the like the second scene after she shows up, Alfred basically hints that she should be part of the Bat team.
Totally.
He implies it, and then they do set it up because like she says initially that she has she's in the new computer science department at her school, and then she
Whoa.
like does that flip thing on Robin when he confronts her.
Bingo.
So fair enough, but like yeah, this Batgirl is not. There's nothing.
Not
there.
Barbara Gordon at all. Like,
No.
Except she knows she does machines. She's like Donatello. Like she knows computers.
she's the Donatello
That's
of
it.
the Batman team now.
Right.
Yeah, and let's not give her like any of them head things. Otherwise, we won't see that it's Alicia Silverstone. We need to
Right,
know
right.
it's Alicia Silverstone.
We need the
She
hair
has it for
flowing.
like 3 seconds.
Yes, and it's
She
like,
puts
oh,
a
that's
cowl
great.
on,
Yeah,
and they're all riding together on their varying degrees of vehicles, and then
I love Batman's got the armored car.
yeah.
Batman's got an armored car. She has the motorcycle, and Robin's just on like a snowmobile.
yes,
Well, they each
course.
need a different vehicle because each sold separately.
we gotta sell toys.
Yeah.
Except, and I want to know, is this true? Because there's a line in the movie where Poison Ivy says, the Poison Ivy action figure always comes with a bane. Is that a
It
thing?
does not. No.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah. There's no way. I can imagine they got some flack for that, where they were like, "Why did you tell them it comes
This is
with
false
Bane?"
advertising.
I've got throngs of outraged mothers trying to buy their teenage children or their prepubescent children Poison Ivy action figures with a Bane. No.
Let's talk about real quick because it's gonna take 2 seconds. The Bane situation.
Ugh.
My biggest issue with Bane
My favorite
is
character.
my biggest issue is you didn't need to call him Bane. The character itself, I don't think was bad. It's one of those.
Dude,
it's
who
like when they
cares?
named Orphan or Cassie in the Birds of Prey. Like, why even
Yeah.
use the name?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Because
well,
we can't.
At least in this movie, if we're gonna compare it to Birds of Prey, at least in this movie, Bane looks like Bane. There's
Okay, yeah.
actually nothing in that other movie that ties those two characters.
That's true.
together.
Yeah, he is not Bane in either movie. But at this one, at least he looks like Bane.
and he's got the mask
Yeah.
with the red eyes. I'll give him that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene in this movie where Poison Ivy says, "No more monkey business," And Bane goes, monkey work.
No, but I love that he takes the
That's how
monkey
he
helmet
talks.
off first. He takes the monkey helmet off first. Like,
I love when that's how we see Poison Ivy in her costume for the first time, and she's wearing a giant orangutan suit, and then she like sexily takes it off.
Like,
What a fantastic scene.
Yeah, this is not. It's amazing how hypersexual charged this movie is, and how it manages to be not sexy at all. Like I find it vulgar.
Like opposed to the last one, where it's like Nicole Kidman is just like out constantly.
Oh yeah, no, that
like,
movie is horny as hell.
Have sex with me.
Yeah, this movie is more like
this one's just funny.
This movie's what like a child thinks sex is.
Yeah.
trying to think of any more big points. We talked about Batman. We talked about Robin. I was a big fan of how Chris O'Donnell just made him into this like annoying kid in this one.
Yeah, this one broke the
he's
formula
not great.
of all the movies. Neither villain dies at the end.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that's
true.
true. Yeah.
Not a whole lot of people.
I do like that apparently Freeze was carrying the cure for Alfred on
in
his
his forehead.
person.
the whole time.
Oh, yeah, he got to give that great line, which I don't think anyone would get anymore. But yeah, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. I will tell you, that line
Awesome
killed.
line.
That killed me.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it was coming. Like you're watching it for the first time and he has 2 of them. I'm like, oh, he's gonna say, take 2 of these and call me.
in the morning. What a good line.
I do find it a bit weird that they gave him his full suit though to be in the same cell as Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I find that odd.
I don't
Also-
think. See, I read that as like he's not actually her new cellmate because
like, kill her.
They would. Yeah, he just like got in there because it's sort of implied that he has a little bit of more free roam because he helped
Yes.
Batman, so Batman like set him up. So he probably just went in there to kill Poison Ivy.
They're like, oh, did you kill her? All right, well. Also, shout out to the Batman animated series, which gave us this Mr. Freeze. Like this is one of those things where it's like the animated series was created because Batman 89 was a movie, and they were like, we got a synergy, we need a show to capitalize on the success of those movies. So here's the show. Then the show reinvents Mr. Freeze, wins an Emmy, and they're like, that one. So then the show influences the movie. It's amazing. Just kind of cool. They're like, hey, they did it, and it's really stupid.
I mean, they did an okay job. He had the, you were a doctor.
He had the
and you
snowflake
were trying to
cheer.
say-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. It's Arnold knows what to do with that kind of material.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, so final verdict on Batman and Robin, watching it so many years later, I actually liked it. I thought it was great. I probably paid closer attention to this than Batman Forever.
No doubt.
Definitely.
And maybe it's because Batman Forever, Schumacher was like he was still kind of thinking he's making a movie, and that's why it doesn't work.
He was straddled between like two, because he's still, I think like the studio still kind of wanted a Tim Burton thing. And also like Tim Burton was on board for a while with that one, wasn't he?
He was strung along. He was technically,
Right.
he was strung along because they were so afraid to just say, you're fired, or we don't
Right.
want you. So, but they did it for so long that he ended up with his name on the freaking credits.
Right.
But yeah, he
Which
didn't
like
do anything.
in this one, it's just do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
and that, I think,
We just
again,
need
like
toys.
time and time again, it's proved that if you give creatives control, they'll
Yeah.
probably make something better than if
Right.
you're interfering constantly.
Well, you know what it is? I guarantee you they were making Forever and they were like, and Schumacher's like, okay, I'm getting the studio notes. It looks like you want me to make this stupid AF. Like, no, no. I mean, it just feels like it's a music video and a toy commercial. No, we're making a film here, Joel. Okay, I'll make a film based on these, but these notes are really contradictory to what you're saying. No, trust me. This is a movie. And then the fourth one, he goes, so the last one, it was just a toy commercial and a Happy Meal toy. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh, okay, thank you.
All right.
Now I know what to make.
And that is Batman and Robin. So I guess next in our Watch All the Batman series, we should name this as like a separate Batman podcast. Like you
Right.
got your whole Spider-Man thing with DJ Woodrow over there.
Batwatch.
Batwatch! We're calling this
Batwatch.
Batwatch.
There's
Okay.
no way there isn't a show called Batwatch.
there
Everything
is-
with Bat
probably
and
is.
another name has been taken.
Yeah, well, we'll I'll find something. You'll
Well,
see.
let us
It'll
know
be
in the
super-
comments down below. What do you think the show should be called?
All right, so next up we start. So Batman now went into hiatus for like 12 years.
Yes, into a shame cave
Yes,
until someone came up with a better idea. Make a
Yep,
good Batman
which
movie.
what is the next one technically called? Because I always just call it
Batman Begins.
Batman. Okay, it is Batman Begins.
Yep.
I know which one it is. Like, I know it's the Christian Bale first one, but whenever I think of that trilogy, because it's like Batman Begins, Dark Knight Returns, and like Dark Knight, or like the names are too similar to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That throws me off.
Should we talk at some point, like a separate show, about what they tried to do with Batman until Batman Begins? You know what I mean? Like, because there's Batman Triumphant, there's the other Batman.
I did an episode of Comics Experiment of that, so we could easily do an episode where we discuss all of those while we're all watching Batman Begins.
Okay, because Batman Begins is like, it's good, I like it, the end, all right, moving on. The water emitter. Oh,
I have a lot of problems with Batman Begins. I was not a fan of Batman Begins.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I've never really talked about the Christian Bale trilogy because I wasn't a fan of it.
Wow.
I didn't like the suit. I didn't like the cowl. I didn't like the attempt at making it realistic. I was like, it's okay, but like everyone freaked out about
Batman
it.
Yeah, save it for the show, man.
We're gonna get there. But I'm just saying, we're probably gonna have quite a few fans because I liked Batman and Robin, and maybe on a rewatch I'll like Batman Begins because I would have told you I hated Batman and Robin until I rewatched it just now.
That's the other thing too is like again, the through line of this video is context. Like we know now that like that Batman trilogy is over and we're never gonna see more of it.
Yeah.
And now we're in this like new era. So we could just watch that as like its own thing now.
Exactly.
And I think
like we know it didn't kill Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
Like back in the day we were like, no, this killed Batman. They might cancel the book.
Batman's over.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see on a rewatch. Maybe I'll like it better. It just when that one first came out, I was in the army doing the Iraq thing, so like
maybe too much realism in your life.
Fair.
Maybe that's it. But if you want to see that opinion, stick around. It'll be out next week or the week after. Sometimes it takes us a little longer to watch these. But stick around for Bat Watch, or soon to be named whatever we call this.